Alright, so this is already head number 2. The actual keepers, which are down there, they're stuck to, I'm not sure what this upper perch is called, but we're just going to call it perch. They're stuck in there, so whenever I try to collapse the spring, or compress it I should say, to take the keepers out so I could replace the valve springs, the keepers are stuck. It doesn't allow me to take out the valve. So these are the new aluminum heads that I got from eBay. So the other one's over here. So what I ended up doing with these is, you can see I have them numbered. Another good thing, I want to show you guys this. So I've seen on YouTube and like different forums, stuff like that, that a lot of these heads come with like very bad casting, like a lot of slag in them and stuff like that. This one, miraculously, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's like markings and stuff like that, but nothing crazy actually. So what I ended up doing with these is I did take off the springs, which are right here. These are the old ones, and then these are the valves. They're stainless steel valves. Also, you can see I numbered them according to whatever cylinder they're gonna go on here. And what I ended up doing was use this valve grinding compound. You use that with one of these guys here, well, the bigger one, which is right here. So basically you would just put that on the valve, create some suction, and then you just turn it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, till the grinding noise starts getting light, or smooth I should say, and it creates this little gray lip that you see. I think you can see it. You can see it more here. That little gray lip that you see right there, it creates that. So it creates a seat. They look like they were pretty good, but you know, once I'm here, I might as well just do the job. So I don't know if I mentioned that I am at work right now. This is my lunch break, so I'm just gonna show you how I unstuck these real quick, because I couldn't figure it out, and obviously compressing it and smacking it with a hammer is not the right way to do it. Not that I was using the hammer that's there, but not the right way to do it, because you will bend the valves. So let me just set this camera up somewhere here, because I do not have my tripod at work, and I'll show you guys. Let me show you guys basically what you need. All you realistically need is a big enough clamp to go over here, and we got a bunch of spare sockets down here, and basically I'll use this one. Basically just whatever socket to go up here, and then that's gonna sit there. Make sure it is bigger than the keepers, like that, and then once that presses down with the clamp, it should pop them off. Well, I mean by pop them off, I mean release them. So let me set up the camera, and then we'll go from there. Socket goes here, end of the clamp goes here. Now you want to have a clamp that is big enough to clear that area there, and you slowly start tightening it up. So make sure it's as centered as you can make it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but also you don't want it to be too crooked, because then you're gonna start messing up stuff. So the slack is off right now. So I should be able to tighten it up, and you should be able to hear a slight pop. There it goes. So now I can compress the springs, no problem. That's that. So with that done, now what I can do, so goes the lunch bill. So with this being set up, alright, so squeeze this down. By the way, guys, so this tool is the Amazon special tool. Very easy to use. I bought the hoop one. Goes over and across, and that thing started to flex. Now let's bring them up. So looks like for some reason we're getting stuck again. Alright, and to release these guys, just hold it. You don't really have to hold it. These are kind of like at a hook. So just loosen it up. That's already at the highest point. What I normally do is get a screwdriver and I just wedge it in the edge right there. It's a little bigger than this. That's it. I lapped some of these already, so I did 4, 3, so I haven't done 2 and 1. It just started getting too noisy right here at work, so I wanted to at least show you guys how to do it once, but I'm not sure if I showed this on the last one. So you guys see a little gray lip, so you have this machined area here, and then you have that little gray piece. That's the part where the actual valve, the one that I showed you. So if you can see on this one as well, it's kind of grayish on that lip. Set it down so I can show you guys. Oops. Yeah, so you see how it's kind of gray there. So that part is actually what's making contact with that little gray part right there. And on the bigger valves, same thing there. So basically, the idea is that you want to have a good seal on them. So basically, when they sit, that just basically like it's cleaning the surface. So I'm gonna do one with you guys. I'm gonna show you exactly how I do it, and then basically from there, I mean, I already did that head. That head's already been done since yesterday. So just got 2 more cylinders to go on this one. So let me set this up somehow right here on this tripod or something that has this makeshift tripod here, and I'll show you guys exactly how I do it. Now, there are several methods of doing it. Like I showed you guys earlier, you use a compound, the grinding compound, which is right there, and then you use these guys. So these you can get them from Amazon. Like I said, I'll link these guys. They come in a set, that one and the one over there. So 4 different sizes. The Permatex as well, and the tool to remove the actual valve springs, compressor springs, and why not just I'll add the clamp. So I'll have all of these linked down below. They're all Amazon links, so feel free to buy them if you guys need them. That way you guys have everything come in the mail all at once, and you guys can do this on the weekend for yourselves. So yeah, let me just set this up right quick, and I'll do one with you guys real quick, and I'll explain to you the method on how I'm doing it. All right, so with my method, well, with a lot of people's method actually, a lot of people will use, like, they'll take the suction cup off or whatever, because you can just twist these off. Then they use them on that. What I saw that was better is I use a bolt at the end, and I put a hose on there, and then the tip of the valve stem will slide into that end. So we're gonna be doing the exhaust valves, I guess, the intake valve, sorry. So add some of your compound. Now, I've seen a few people do it. they just add it to the actual, straight onto the valve, which you can, it's no problem. I like to add it to this actual foam piece that I have here laying on the table. I'll add a dab of that, and then basically what I do is I just run the valve on that, and then you can see I run it basically in the areas where I know it's going to be grinding. Make sure you do add a little bit of oil to the actual stem. That way it doesn't gouge your valve seals as they're in, such as mine, but I'm going to be replacing them. Not too happy on the way they look. Actually, they're kind of worn out and hard and brittle. Alright, so normally you would just put your drill on here, and then the way that I do it is gently with my middle fingers, I'll push out, and then I'll just like kind of like seat it back in its place. Not putting any force on it, just kind of, you know, holding it in its place. And what you're gonna hear here in a second is when it's grinding, it'll make a rough grinding sound. Then it'll start to smoothen out. Once it smooths out, what I do is I back it back away from the seat, and then again push it back in. Let it ride on there for a little bit, and then do it multiple times. Then I'll switch the rotation of the drill, and I'll do it the other way. Now, it's not necessary to actually do this. The holes that I have is a little bit bigger than the actual diameter of the valve stem, so I just put tape on it just so that it kind of holds it. Alright, so I'm going to do this, and I want you guys to listen to the way it is. By the way, I do have it on the low speed setting. You don't want to do this so fast. So what you're essentially doing is you're just cleaning the surface. You're just trying to clean both surfaces, or mate them together. Not mate them, sorry, like rub them against each other. You're not trying to gouge it and, you know, make the valve go in. You just want it so you have a surface on it. That's right. Let it smooth out, blend it again. 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 Smooth. Like I said, then I'll turn the rotation. Blending, smooth, blending, smooth, blending, smooth, blending. Alright. So you can do it as many times as you're comfortable. So I think it's fine with the amount that I did. I've been doing all of them. I haven't had problems so far. Alright, so as soon as that's out, push your valve stem in, kind of give it a quick little twist. You can see it actually turned a different color. Instead of it being black, come on guy, focus. It's like gray. So most likely that's from the aluminum. And then these valves are stainless. Alright, so see how it left that finish on there, the gray finish, as opposed to one that doesn't have it. Just side by side on these guys. You guys can see it. One has like that gray finish on it. That's where it was rubbing up on the head. The other one hasn't done it because I obviously haven't done it on the head. So then, let me flip my head over. I give it the old wipe real quick. So my overall thoughts on these eBay heads. I mean, I don't know if I got lucky. This one does have a slight nick. I'll show you guys right now. I mean, it was probably like hit with something during shipping, or I'm not sure if it was sitting like that on the shelf and they got it. But basically it right there. So turn up the light right quick. there. It's still grayed up. You can see where it was spinning on there. So eventually when the valve's like, you know, opening and closing with the force of the spring, all that's gonna go away. I just want it so it has like a clean, nice little surface on there. So just got 3 more to go, and that's it. So this is the little nick that I was talking about. When I got them out the box brand new, that's basically what it had. So I'm just gonna file it down. The head gasket actually on the other side. This is not the head gasket, but this is where the intake manifold would sit. It's not really distorted there. It should be okay. But this is where the push rods come through, so the actual mating area for the head is actually perfect. So yeah, so my final thought on these eBay heads, I'm not sure if I got lucky. I mean, there is that little damage there. So I'm not sure if I got lucky with these, because I have seen some that have really bad casting, like slag and stuff like that. But I mean, that one does have a little bit there, but like, I mean, it looks worse on camera than what it really is. I mean, you guys hear that? It catches on my nail very slightly, but not enough to like actually, you know, like stop it. But I will run like maybe like some sandpaper or something on that little edge. But I mean, other than that, I mean, these are the intake runners. So the exhaust, I'm not really too worried about. These are the exhaust, obviously. Yeah. So the intake runners are like very, very good. So like I said, the intake one's like, you know, perfect. There you go. Not perfect, but you know, damn near good. Intake, exhaust, intake, and exhaust. I'll show you guys the others as well in here. So yeah, like I said, I'm not sure if I got lucky with this set, because these are actually pretty good. To me they look good. I mean, other than, you know, like the hours and stuff like that. But I mean, I was going to run the stock 289 iron heads, and you know, those things are, you know, for the people that know, they have very poor flow on them. So moving up to like a GT40 head was kind of like gonna be what I was like leaning more towards. Then they were a little bit too pricey. Then I was gonna go to the GT40P, but then I was gonna have issues with my headers. You know, I can get around the whole, you know, angled spark plug, you know, deal. But then these came up on auction during Easter, and I'm not sure if like maybe everybody was just obviously busy with the family, which I was as well. So I managed to snag both sets on eBay auction for 400 and I think it was like 488, you know, plus shipping and stuff like that. It came out to about 540, somewhere around there, which was probably going to be the amount to rebuild the stock 289 heads. So for the same price, got aluminum heads, better flow, bigger valves, and overall, I guess, more performance. So that is pretty much my take on these eBay heads. Now, I mean, I can link, I mean, I'm not sure if I'll be able to link because it was an end auction. I'll see if I can find the username on eBay, and then I'll go ahead and I'll link him down below. That way, maybe he might, I know he has a few aluminum heads for different cars, so hopefully they're all the same condition as the ones that I got here. I'll show you guys the top. And the other one's pretty much the same. Now, the reason why I'm actually taking off the valve springs to lap the valves and stuff like that, the valves is just because I'm taking off the springs anyway, so I'm already here. So the reason why I'm actually doing the springs is because I have read that the spring compression of these heads, it's not what they actually say it is. So better safe than sorry. Spent a little bit of extra money on them, and I'm running a Howard's cam. Contact them over at Howard's Cams through Instagram. I obviously messaged them, and they recommended the correct valve springs for the cam that I'm going to be running, and it was only like a few bucks, so I was like, might as well just do that. So I do have the valve springs, I do have the retainers, so might as well gonna lap them. That way I'm sure that these heads are going to be perfect once they go on the motor, and I'm not, you know, messing around and, you know, maybe floating valves, you know, you never know. But I'm going to wrap it up right here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.